Hi, I'm Dawn. Welcome to You Make Me Sick TV. I'm so glad you came. Please like and subscribe if you like the news that I bring to you and the facts, and have discussions about how I feel about things and how I see things. Also, if you subscribe, it's free. Just click the subscribe button. Thanks, I appreciate it. And I would like to grow our audience so we could see democracy come back and play again. Okay, today I'm gonna update us on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. They have the suspect in custody now, apparently, and I've been watching, I like to watch press conferences as they go live because I find personally that I'm informed by what's ever going on in that localized city or area, that they tell you what's going on for the most part. And then sometimes the regular news covers everything up and the government will start spinning things the way they want to spin things anyway. So yesterday and today I've been watching the press conferences, and the suspect that is in hand name, his name is Tyler Robinson, by the way. Tyler Robinson, yes. And he is a white male, again, with a rifle. And I'm just pointing that out. I wouldn't really point that out because I love white men. I'm married to one. Two of my children are them. I have friends that are them. I just want to point out that things don't get taken care of in this country because they're always blaming other people that aren't white men. So this man was not brown, he was not black, he was young. He was born in 2003, he's 22. He lives in Utah with his family, from what I understand. And if you go to their social media posts, you will see that him and his sibling or siblings, I know he has a brother, were raised from a very young age. You'll see pictures of them holding these MAGA rifles. I mean, not just your old rifle that you find at Walmart or somebody's old house. I mean, highly charged. I don't know the technical terms, but you'll see him, posing with this huge rifle, like on a tripod, with his family at gun shows.
This family is white. We know that Tyler Robinson was raised with guns and shooting. His mom referred to the family as a gun-toting family. There's lots of photos with him at shooting ranges. I'll show you those photos now. He wore a Trump costume for Halloween in the past. Again, this seems to be a family that was supportive of Donald Trump.
He started at a very young age. His dad is supposedly a retired sheriff and a minister, and their family are Republicans, and Tyler himself has been registered as a Republican and registered as independent, never registered as a Democrat or a liberal, like the right-wing media is spewing right now, okay? So he's a good shot, obviously, because he's been around guns for a very long time, like his whole life. And he's unfortunately did what he did yesterday because he's not in agreement anymore with what Charlie Kirk had to say. As am I. I am in no way for anything that probably came out of Charlie Kirk's mouth. I do feel bad for the family he left behind. But I think if you are Charlie and you're putting yourself out there so bad, talking about women's rights, and gun rights. And he was debating about gun rights when he actually got shot. I mean, these radical people with guns rather have gun rights than have women in their lives have rights. Literally, I'm not just making this shit up. So today at the press conference, Kash Patel finally spoke. You know, if you saw him yesterday, he didn't know what the hell was going on, because he shouldn't know what the hell's going on, because he is in charge of FBI. But you know what? He's a failed podcaster. I mean, that's like putting anybody in charge of the FBI. If I had to do his job today, I wouldn't have caught the guy. Well, maybe I would have, because I don't feel that FBI, obviously Kash Patel is paying homage to Trump and all the, support that was given to local enforcement and the government. In the meantime, they're all trashing left lunatics, like they're calling me and all of us left lunatics, which is just crazy, because they were doing this before they even had the suspect, who is not a left lunatic, in custody. Okay, and he's definitely lived the radical MAGA gun life. It's definitely inbred in how they, grow up. I've seen it firsthand because I live in North Carolina. So I just want to say to Nancy Mace, I don't know if you've seen what she's been doing lately. She's a public official going off, having a temper tantrum and maybe a fear attack about, Democrats owning this. And the level-headed reporter was asking her questions like, well, what about the Minnesota person that, the former rep Melissa Hortman, who was shot? Are you saying that was, Democrat? Because it wasn't a Democrat. They tried to swarm us that it was Democrat. And they, Trump started beating down Tim Walz as being crazy. But that was a MAGA Republican. Again, the guy that shot Trump,
stated, my kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative in the country called panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot and killed. In this country, we have the First Amendment. We have freedom to speak what's on our mind and shouldn't get shot because we believe in our system of democracy, conservative, liberal, whatever you are. You shouldn't be shot for your beliefs. Nobody believes in that. And I hope that every single Democrat across the country will stand up and acknowledge that they have a problem within their party.
Republican again, okay? All white men. But they cover it up right away and you never hear about it again. And they just spin this around like it's, all these people that are level-headed lefties. That's what I call us, level-headed, loving lefties. They just want to be against us for some reason. And Trump's talking hostile towards us. He's going to cause, I don't even want to say a civil war, but he's freaking crazy. And so is Nancy Mace. They both need to be immediately put in jail or shut down. Okay, because Nancy Mace is now screaming that the Democrats got to own this, even when the journalist said to her, well, what about the Minnesota people that got killed? And she's like, no, we're talking about the Democrats. They have to own this. My kids called me scared. And well, you know what, Nancy Mace, welcome to the Parent I'm Scared Club, because my kids grew up in lockdowns. And I had no access to the school during the lockdowns because I wanted to go, get them, but there was absolutely no access if I even knew about it. We're not even informed in North Carolina if our kids are locked down. And if you find out on the internet through a social group and you call the school, they say they can't help me at the moment. Okay, Nancy Mace, so welcome to the Scared Child and Parent Club, because they had to normalize this stuff while they were going to school. And now they're going to have to normalize the politics that you're a part of, because you keep spewing hatred amongst people and keep letting all this gun violence be okay when it's really not. So I'm calling you out, Nancy Mace, as a mother and as a female. This has got to stop. And something else y'all may not know about, but 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Laura Loomer, you know, that crazy radical right-wing woman, okay, that is nothing but post and kiss Donald Trump's ass. And for some reason, Donald Trump trusts her to let him know everyone who is loyal to him, okay? So 2 days before Kurt was assassinated, which was Wednesday the 10th, so September 8th, which was a Monday, just so we could get a timeline, Laura Loomer posted, and now it's not there anymore, it's been deleted, that
deleted post from Laura Loomer from Disgusta, Georgia here. It says, Laura Loomer, a key informal advisor to President Trump with ties to the alt-right and white nationalists, tweeted this 2 days before Charlie Kirk's assassination. She swiftly deleted it in the aftermath of his killing. Luckily, the internet is forever. So I'm going to scroll down and read you Laura Loomer's post. I don't ever want to hear Charlie Kirk claim he is a pro-Trump ever again. After this weekend, I'd say he was revealed himself as political opportunist, and I have had a front row seat to witness the mental gymnastics these last 10 years. Lately, Charlie has decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next. TPUSA was only able to thrive thanks to the generosity of President Trump. On the 1-year anniversary of the assassination attempt of Trump's life, Charlie hosted at Comic Dave Smith at TPUS SAS conference. I believe that was his company right here. Charlie Kirk and his supporters. So SAS conference where Dave Smith was able to speak to a bunch of conservative youth at an organization that claims to be pro-Trump. 3 weeks ago, Dave Smith called for President Trump to be impeached and removed from the office over his decision to blow up Iran's nuclear facilities. Charlie played both sides of the Iran issue on his show, as we all saw, because he wants to play to both sides of the aisle. The honorable thing to do is to have a position and actually defend it to the death instead of flip-flopping. Smith said all of MAGA should turn on Trump and abandon him. He said this 3 weeks ago. I'm going to read this again. Smith said all of MAGA should turn on Trump and abandon him. He said this 3 weeks ago. See the clip below. TPUSA is definitely not pro-Trump. If they were, they certainly aren't anymore.
About this young man that's 22 years old, Tyler Robinson, who grew up in a MAGA family, registered Republicans, guns from when he was really little, started shooting from when he was little. They have found his rifle. He got away, okay? He lives like at least an hour or two outside of Utah. And this is another thing that I'm going to tell you that the governor of Utah said at the press conference was he was praying, because he's all about thoughts and prayers. So yesterday and last night, he was praying that this person of interest that murdered Charlie Kirk in their state of Utah, he was praying that it was a foreigner. It was, I forget what kind of other person he said, but he was praying it wasn't one of them, somebody from Utah, just to make it easier on them and on us. And he basically was saying, it turns out it's somebody from Utah. It's one of them. And that, to me, says a lot. Okay? I personally knew it was going to be a white male right away. And when they got an older person in custody, like 60 years old, I was like, okay, that surprised me. But he was a white male. And then it wasn't him, but he was claiming it was him, perhaps, I think is what they're reporting now. And maybe that was a scheme to get Tyler Robinson able to escape. We don't know what was going on, but everybody was falling for it just because they wanted to get this person quick on social media. So they were falling for anything. They didn't shut down the flights at the local airport. So anybody was able to just go. And they have footage of Tyler Robinson jumping off the building where he shot the rifle on the tripod, and it was nowhere to be seen. I even said that to my husband. I was like, I don't see a rifle. How do we even know it's this person? He could be, a plant or somebody. And today they said they found the rifle fully put together just outside the campus in the woods with these other casings of bullets unused next to it. Sounds really convenient because I've also read that he broke down the rifle so he could pack it up and get the heck out of there. And that's why I didn't see it on him the multiple times I saw the footage of him climbing down. Okay? Okay. So why would he go into the woods and put the rifle back together and leave it there? I don't know. Maybe you guys have the answer to that. I can't wait to see how the Republicans spin it. But again, Fox News, Jesse Waters, cut it out. Laura Ingraham, cut it out. You guys are getting too violent. You have big public platforms and you're causing havoc on this country, and it's going to cause more killings and more gun violence when we need the exact opposite. So this crazy rhetoric coming out of the MAGA right wing that covers up everything that the president does, they're trying to spin this around that it's the Democrats again. Do not believe them for a second. Do not believe them for a second, because they're going to try and they're going to brainwash the people that only watch Fox News. But Jesse Waters, Nancy Mace, Laura Ingraham, Donald Trump, cut it out. You are very dangerous. This is triggering our country, your country. This is a hostile act on our people in this country. And you all need to be let go, resigned, or behind bars. Just saying, that's my opinion. Okay. I think that's the update on that for right now. Oh yeah, the way this person that they have right now in the Utah jail, apparently like when I was watching the press conference live, because this is a little different than what you're hearing, whether it's on the internet or on the TV. What I saw on the press conference streaming live was a family member. Tyler Robinson confessed to a family member. The family member called a family friend of Tyler Robinson. And the family friend contacted law enforcement. Okay, according to what the governor said at the press release. I saw it with my own eyes, but you might not get it at first glance. You got to hear it again. And then you'll see, oh, that's a little confusing. So his family didn't turn him in. Well, they kind of did, but indirectly. They called somebody to turn him in. I don't know if that's got to do with the $100,000, reward they put out for this person that was killed yesterday. I mean, they did not do that for anybody else. I mean, it's so disgusting. They just make me sick. Our government just makes me sick. So at least the family turned him in. It's kind of sad, but yeah, at least they turned him in, and now he's in custody. Again, everything seems really suspicious to me. I don't know why, but it just does. Yeah, Kash Patel at the conference. Ugh, you make me sick, Kash Patel. He was just kissing Donald Trump's ass. Oh, just kissing his ass. Good thing, because you're going to live another day or another week now that you got yourself into this fucking mess. And again, they're just blaming people in the White House, and instead of taking care of what's really going on, the gun violence and the upset in our divided United States right now. Also, you probably seen B&O News posted what was released from Tyler Robinson, and it said a couple of things. It said these were the unfired casings. Also suspicious, but supposedly he was part of a huge underground killing gang called the 706. Don't quote me on that. And it has to do with some kind of angels. And they take on these lonely young boys that are like, clinging to guns and need a cause in their life. Again, another underlying issue in this country that no one's addressing. And the casing said, "Hey, fascists!" ! Catch! ! And then it had like 5 arrow buttons, and up, one going to the side, and then 3 down, which apparently is a reference to a video game called Hey Divers 2. It's a bombing, I think, execution of part of that game. Again, these are just translations that gamers are giving and what's being reported now. Number 2 said, in quotes, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao." And they were saying that's, one person said that's Italian anti-Nazi. I'm not sure what that means, but I just thought I'd tell you that. And then the third one said, in quotes, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." So, I don't know what that means. But he's not trans, and he's not an immigrant, and he's not a Democrat. All these things are for sure. So shut the fuck up. Nancy Mace, Jesse Waters, Laura Ingraham, and President Orange. Jesus Christ. I also want to talk more about the Epstein files. So I'm going to call it right now, and then I'll talk about the Epstein files. One last, Patel, the FBI and the police really had nothing to do with getting this suspect in custody. If you ask me, absolutely nothing, which is what I would expect from a failed podcaster. No offense to podcasters, but I wouldn't want that fucking job. But somebody turned him in. He confessed. That's what they're saying. And then his family and his friend turned him in. So it had nothing to do with the police, the FBI, and our government. Like I said, nobody shut down the flight so nobody could get out. They were arresting the wrong people. They're posting on social media like this is some kind of effing game. And he got away. So I don't know why he would confess if he got away. But that's what I know. I would never do what he did. No, I do not like anything that Charlie stood for. And the more I read about what he said in the Heritage Foundation, it absolutely makes me sick. But I would never want someone to be shot like the way he was shot, or shot at all. It was a very sad day. And then yesterday I had a lot of healing to do. I don't know if you know, but I did a live yesterday with all my favorite healing songs. And it helped release all the feelings I was feeling about our democracy and our feelings that have been crazy lately. I know I'm not the only one that cries sometimes at night, for a fact. And if you are, it's not a big deal. We have healing to do in this country, and I hope it starts. So let's start, and have a good rest of your day and weekend. And I will come back with the Epstein update on all the emails that were released between Epstein and Ghislaine and others. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you. Don't let this get to you. Enjoy your weekend. Okay? But stay in it, because we can't let our democracy, we can't get distracted from our democracy. We have to stay on it. There's a protest coming up October 18th. I went to my first protest this year, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's very revitalizing, and fulfilling, because you're doing your start, you're doing your piece, and when you get there, you'll find there are so many people that feel the way you do that you were nervous for no reason at all. And I brought a couple of other loved ones with me, and they were feeling the same way because it was their first time, and they don't feel that way anymore. So if that's what you want to do that. If you want to work locally on the phones and make calls, call your Democrat, go online and go to the Democrat official page, and they will jump right in. There's so many organizations like Mobilize Us, MoveOn.org, Individual. There's just so many good organizers. There's not one big one that they can attack and take down, which is good. There's just a whole bunch of big ones that you could do whatever you feel comfortable with. Like, I feel comfortable talking to everybody more than I feel comfortable going door to door and talking to people about politics. But maybe you feel more comfortable doing that. Maybe you want to run for a small office in your area. Maybe you want to help somebody run for an office in your area. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. If you just feel comfortable with talking to your loved ones and let them know what's going on without upsetting them, because some of them don't want to hear it, but they do want to know. And I always say it's like preparing for a hurricane here in North Carolina. You prepare for it, you're ready for it, but we've always been okay. All the rain comes, sometimes the hurricane comes, but we're prepared whether it comes or not. So I like the people in my life to be in the know and prepared in case it comes. And there's no it's just what's going on there. So if they're, taking a flight out of the country, taking a flight in the country, or if they're going to a certain area in our country, or just so they see what our military is doing to our cities right now. And they're being very selective to Democrat cities over red cities, which have, if not as much, but more violence. And they don't talk about that. So do what you can, y'all. Mwah. Love ya.